joining us, and I'm so happy to have him back on the air with us, Robin Ventura. I guess we have to call you by your official title now, student assistant here at Oklahoma State. Let's kind of get right down to it. Take us back to when the first conversation came up between you and Josh, and did you guys really think that this would come to fruition as it did?
I don't, you know what, it was back, I don't remember what football game it was, but I'd come back, tailgate for a football game, ran into him. Just we were joking around about it, and nothing really came of it. And I think a couple other times I came back. One time I went over and talked to the team, and, it just kind of came up a little bit in my head. And then I think even talking to him, I said, what would happen? And came back and coached it. I think then we had to go through it. I mean, the only available spot they had was student coach, but he came back laughing, saying, well, you're the only one that fits this, like, little niche of a position that you've had the last time you went to school, went in here at Oklahoma State, you had to use up all your eligibility, and then you had to graduate that. So I kind of fit all three of those, and then we started thinking about it. The more we kept going back and forth, I was like, I think this sounds like a lot of fun, and at a place I'd like to be, and so we just kind of kept going. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah. So I told him, I'm like, I want to do this, but I wanted, him and the coaching staff to be okay with it too, and I think that's, it's awful nice of them to allow me to do this.
It is unique in the fact that obviously somebody with all the major league experience as a player and as a manager now back here. But the reality of it all is, while you want to continue your education and fill us in on what your field of study is, I should have known that, but I don't. But the reality of it all is you have never lost contact with the school, even after you got out.
No, I haven't. I mean, a lot of good friends here, and, always seem to come back and do something, one way or the other. But, I think that's where you kind of just keep, that touch was always there, and you come back. And this year I came back to every football game, pretty much every football game. I think I missed one, but, tailgate. I was in the golf tail. I don't know how I ended up at the golf tailgate, but somehow I got absorbed into the golf tailgate with EJ and Bob and Scotty and Sam and Willie and those guys have a tailgate out there, and we barbecue and have a great time. I was having a ball doing that. So it was just, I think that kind of, opened up the window to be able to come back and do that.
So much of a connection that you had your kids go to school here, and I think that a lot of people knew that right off the bat until maybe you were out a number of years before we found out that was the case. So I mean, that shows you again the affinity and the love you have for this school.
Yeah, Rachel, my oldest, went here, and it was fun for me to come back and go through that and enjoy Oklahoma State like I got to enjoy it, and feel the same way. I have a lot of good friends here. Even the girls she went to school with, even their parents were still, in contact and are really good friends. So I think that's, there's so many, tentacles to this thing. It's a good spot, and I think that's why it felt so right to do this.
As you look at the staff, and once again, you and Matt for sure understand how organizations run, and no matter how much expertise you got on a staff, I mean, there is just the one guy who's the head coach. In this case, it's Josh. And you haven't really seen it up close and personal yet in as many workouts, but are you intrigued on how this is going to work out with all this expertise out there?
No, I think it's great. Josh does a great job. He's definitely the guy in control. It's his program. The kids know that as well. I mean, Matt and I realize we're here to help and in any way we can, just like all the other coaches are. But Josh is the guy, and it's his job. And I have no. I would like him to do this job forever. I mean, I really do. I think it's a perfect fit for the school, the program. This kid grew up inside the program, and has an affinity for it, and played here. love for the university and this program, and there's nobody else in the country that has it. Like his experience and love for the program. So I think it's a great thing to have him do it, but to be able to have Matt back and do what he's doing is really a testament to their relationship and also that affinity that those Holiday boys have for Oklahoma State baseball.
You've had a couple of workouts, I think, that you've been part of. And once again, I don't know that there's a sheet that says, okay, Ventura, you do A, B, and C, Halliday, you do D, E, and F. But what have you done on the field thus far with the kids in these early workouts?
Well, we do. We meet in the morning, and you're going over what we're going to do that day. And, we're working with Marty Lee, who does a great job. He's doing the infield guys. And I gravitate more towards the third baseman and first baseman of being able to, I haven't played those positions, just, be over there, talk to them, and kind of just give them little things about, playing the position and slowing stuff down for them. And, everybody's helping with the hitting. You just sit there and observe. There's a lot of really good signs. I think even Rob being the pitching coach, he's actually a very good hitting coach by having watched film and broke stuff down. And, Matt being in there. And just we're different hitters, Matt and I are, but we have the same philosophy on a lot of things.
As you take us through a workout here, have the kids, and I say this tongue-in-cheek, and we joked about it the other night when we were on the phone, but, there are a lot of kids, they starstruck that you hear that even some kids even know who you are, and I say that respectfully, but we're dealing with kids who are 18, 19 years old, and they may know of you, but have you found that to be something of a amusement for you?
Yeah, I mean, none of them ever saw me play or anything like that, but again, it's going to be about forming a relationship and that continuity. They can trust you with what they're saying, and they're listening to you, that you're listening to them as well, and that's just part of coaching, that you're going to have to develop that relationship and make that part of it. I think just being a program is something that these kids are going to get to know a lot about me and all the other coaches as well, but we're going to get to know a lot about them too.
You sound almost like the interview that we did when you took the White Sox job. It's all about the relationship thing, and you can talk till you're blue in the face, but if there's not a respect on the other end, the listener, then chances are the words are going to not be heard. But I would think these kids would gravitate toward you people, other than not that they won't to Josh and the other coaches, but I mean, you guys are still fresh on their mind as far as just being out of the major leagues.
Yeah, I mean, that helps. It does help. I mean, there's no question about that. But, again, we're dealing with them right now and how we can help them right now. And I know, they've already gone through a whole fall of doing things, and I'm kind of playing catch up of, what they've done, what they've been through, who's struggling with what, who's on time, who's doing things like that. So, I'm the one playing a little bit of catch up, and I got to get to know them, more than maybe they have to ask questions to me. So it's more on my end of being able to be there and be available too, and that's very important about building a strong relationship with everybody.
Now, you were coaching out in California in a high school level from time to time, so you're dealing with this kind of age group here, and you understand what they're going through. But I would think eventually you're a great story for some of these kids that, and I say this in a respectful way, but you made yourself into a hell of a player here. I don't know that you were that when you first came on board at Oklahoma State, but you worked your butt off to be that kind of a player.
Is that what you saw? Is that kind of what you're saying? I wasn't very good when I got here?
That was a nice way of saying that, probably.
Okay, I was going to say, wow, thanks for
But it's not the first time I've said that to you, though.
I know. No, I agree. I think you get here, you don't, I didn't really know a lot of what I was doing at the time. And I think I had great coaches that could help you navigate through that and work on things and get better. And, that's part of being here, and for them to be able to be exposed to as much as they can and listen and and the whole job here is to give them the confidence to go out individually and as a group and as a team to be able to win games and feel good about, every time they step on the field, they feel like they're going to win.
You were kind of part of a golden era, if you will, back in the late 80s, and I'm going to throw some names out, but you obviously were in that genre. I mean, John Smith being one of them, certainly Sanders being another. Do you ever look back on that and think, man, I knew these guys were all kind of coming up, and they all turned out to be, pretty good. Yeah, they all had good careers.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's it was a nice moment in time of being able to have all those guys in school at the time. You'd run into them, and our golf program was great. EJ won the national championship. Scott Verplank won I think it was the Western Open when he was still in school. So, there was just a lot of success throughout the program that you felt pride in, and I think that's something that you want to definitely pass along to these kids. And I think in the end, you want these kids to leave there with the same feeling that we all had as athletes that went through Oklahoma State when you leave, that you have that fondness for that orange that you got to put on and that you get to carry with you. But that you went to a school like this and it's going to be connected to you forever.
I remember almost like it was yesterday. I mean, the day that you were picked 10th by the White Sox, and we had to get you in touch with all the people who wanted to talk to you. Baseball America and the locals here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was like you were very cordial, and you probably didn't want me to come every time to talk to you and say you need to call this guy and that guy. But it seems like just yesterday to me. To you, a lot of water has gone under the bridge since 1988.
Yeah, absolutely. And back then there wasn't the internet, social media and stuff like that. So I think, part of that whole time period it was intriguing for a lot of people of what was going on around Oklahoma State, because you couldn't really get access to it and see it exactly when you wanted to see it. So I think that was, some of the reasons for that fondness of that time period. But I do remember that time too. I didn't like you coming around me either at the time.
You got your fingers crossed, and you're not really meaning that. That's just the mean Ventura coming out that people don't hear. But I got a chance to see you when I say you weren't very good, but I got a chance to see you move over one spot and become a hell of a third baseman. So.
Well, it does take work, and I think having been through ups and downs, and you start out as your one kind of player, and then maybe you work your way into another, area or level, and you get a little bit better, and you have success. So I think over time I've had success. I haven't had success. I've messed up. All those kind of things. So there's probably not a lot that these kids have on their plate that all these coaches haven't been through one time or another.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with Matt, and I think one of the biggest things you guys can bring is, kids being impulsive. They go 6 for 8 one week, and then the next week they have a hard time going 1 for 8. But you guys have been through the highs and lows, and I would think this would be tremendous for them to hear from you people that, hey, you just keep doing what you're doing, and things will work out.
Yeah, and again, the kids are the ones that are playing. We can help them and guide them in the right direction, but the idea is to get them to where they're the ones. And for me, I want to focus on them. I know this, last couple of days, been a little crazy, but the focus really needs to be on the kids, and it's about them and the program and being able to win games. So that's what we're waiting to get to.
I haven't asked you this. We alluded to it in the beginning. I don't know. What is it, your field of study? What are you going to try to put the wraps on here at Oklahoma State?
Well, it's a Bachelor of Arts, but I'm also taking classes. I just, when we sat down and looked at some classes, some of them are just fun, and I think that's something you're interested in, and to be able to do that. So I'm doing this with, an open mind, trying to get my degree and have fun at the same time. And I'm going to gonna enjoy it while I'm doing it. I can tell you that.
I got to ask you. I mean, in this day and age of online stuff, I mean, this is different than when you were going to school here. The first time around, how many times are you in the classroom? How many times are you actually online? What are you doing here?
Well, most of it's online. There's going to be a couple of days you're on campus and you go to things. I believe I have a couple classes with some of the players that are on the team. So
Wow.
I don't want them looking over my shoulder trying to copy my paper. I'm going to make sure they do their own stuff.
You looked the part on that Twitter account with your
Yeah.
backpack.
Yeah, that looked good, didn't it? That looked good.
You know what? I had to look like 5 times to see if that wasn't photoshopped because you didn't look that way when you were here. But you had the backpack, you had the glass. I mean, you look rather studious. I have to say that.
Well, that was my backpack. I was just bringing in to do the work at the office. They wanted to make it seem like I was the one I was going to class with. But that's the one I used to come in and do a little work in the office, play a little catch up.
Other than the players, I mean, that's a unique situation itself. I don't know how many people in that classroom are going to know this is Robin Ventura. I mean, he used to play in the major leagues. He was a major league
I
manager.
don't think they'll care. They're not going to care.
Well, I could see where they wouldn't care. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious. But there might be some who go, hey, he doesn't look like the last time I saw him on TV.
They're going to think that there's somebody's dad in there sitting there with somebody.
Well, you are. I mean, so.
Well, I have kids that are going to be here, so it is possible. Yeah.
I can't wait till we talk again. We'll get a little report on the classroom decorum.
Oh, you didn't know this was the last time we were talking?
What's that?
I said, you didn't know this was the last time we were talking?
No, I didn't notice that at all, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
See, this is the part, I'm glad we got you on, because this is the part of Ventura a lot of people don't ever hear. But I want to bring out the total Ventura, where he's got a rather, shall we say, a little edge to him when he comes back. You've always been that way. All right, let's get serious about one thing here. I mean, obviously, being a baseball person, you've kept up with some of the things going on, obviously, with the stealing of signs and now three guys have been released from their jobs. It's a stain for the whole sport. I mean, even if you didn't do it, I mean, you just kind of get identified, don't you?
Yeah, it's a tough week for baseball. I mean, it's a sad thing. And, that stuff's always going to be tough. And, it's just something that they're going to have to clean up and figure out a way to, monitor that kind of stuff. So it's tough. I mean, those guys are good guys. I think you can make a mistake and do that, but there's some quality people that are kind of caught up in that.
You're not going to be specific. That's not your job. But in general, I mean, is this just we're going to make a point and we're going to make sure that this gets around and we're going to get rid of guys who are in a celebrity situation with some of these franchises? Do you think it was too tough, too impossible to kind of keep on a thumb on every day? How do you see it from your perspective?
Looking at, I don't know I didn't read the investigation, what they have on them or anything like that, but inside, I can see as a manager, there's some things you can't see some of it. There's some of it you should be aware of, but there's some things going on that you're not always aware of, and I can kind of see both sides of it of a guy that he's not quite paying attention to that part of it because that you're always focused on 25 guys, you got the pitchers and things like that. So I can see where maybe some of that he might not have been aware of.
As a player, I got to ask you this: put your player's hat back on. I mean, stealing signs has been here since the beginning of time, and even Robin Ventura, when he was at second base, might have relayed a sign to a batter at the plate. Not gonna put you in Dutch here, but it's been going on for a while. Now the electronic end of it, I guess they want to make sure that does not infiltrate, but you still have to hit the ball. If I tell you the fastball's coming, you still got to hit it.
Yeah, but I think it gets to the point where it would be a lot easier knowing if the guy had to tell you what was coming. what it was. So, again, when you're doing it with your eyes, I think that's always been part of the game, and you can change signs and do different things. There's forever in the history of the game, there's been players that have been really good at picking out little nuances. And, a guy twitches his, nose, and you can tell what's coming. But, when they do it that way, it becomes a little bit tougher for everybody to monitor. So that part of the stuff, just seeing it with your eyes, I think that's always going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. But the electronic stuff, they're going to have to pay attention to.
And I kind of like the way baseball polices itself. Some of my colleagues around here don't agree with me, but if you're out there at second base and I know you're stealing signs, maybe the next time you come up, you're going to wear one.
Well, that's why you got to be very discreet of how you do that, Tom. That's why you can't just stick your finger up and let the guy know it's going to be a fastball down the middle. So
yeah,
you got to be head on a swivel if you're not very good at it.
And I was going to say, and you might even get hit even anyways. They got to blame somebody, so they may just pick somebody out. Last thing, and we covered this the last time we talked, and it's certainly not a question for what you're doing right now, but if the situation were right and you got the right phone call, I mean, you're still young enough. Would you ever entertain thoughts of going back in a major league dugout?
Yeah, I think so. If it was the right spot and it seemed like it fit, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I mean, obviously would entertain that, but I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing right now and excited about where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Well, that's good. I liked hearing that. You put a damper on that subject right off the bat, right there. But people call, right, and you have to entertain phone calls whatever coaching industry you're in. At least you got to listen, right, before.
I think you always listen. I mean, again, the people that are calling you know them, and you can respect that they're calling and asking questions. But again, I made a decision to come here and do this, and I'm committed to being here and doing this and seeing how this goes.
Have you got the tour of O'Brate yet, or are you still waiting to go through?
Josh took me by there. I haven't been there probably like 3 months, but eventually we'll get over there. I think it's still fun for me to be at Alley P and going through it there, and Again, to do this and to be able to go at Alley P and then cross over into the other one is really fun. And I think it's fun to talk to kids and have some stories and some stuff that went on there. It's just kind of funny.
Famous, I guess the most favorite Gary Ward story you can tell me as we get out of here. Famous, most favorite Gary Ward story.
My favorite one I can't even tell you.
Well, you'd have to clean it up. I know.
Can't say it. I can't even clean it up. It's so great. It was fantastic. It was at OU, and there's a couple football players on top. And he stopped the game and said a lot of things, and eventually got him off the dugout. But, it was so funny and fantastic.
I think he kind of invited a few of them down there just to voice their opinion, and none of them came down, as I recall.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah, hey, he was great, and hopefully he's listening right now. I texted him, told him I was going to have you on. So, have you talked to him since you've been back? Maybe. Yes?
I haven't.
Okay.
Haven't yet.
Okay.
Sure, I'll run into him when I'm over there.
All right, bud. I appreciate your time, and we'll run into each other over at the old yard, both yards, really. We're talking Reynolds and, of course, O'Brate. But good to have you back, man. It was just great for our kids.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Robin Ventura,